Hello everybody, this is Angelo for a new video. It's been a while. I would like to speak today about a case with a very short spread, 3 cards. The situation is the following. Bobby knows Susie. They hang out from time to time and have sexual interaction. So they are sex friends, let's put it this way. But they are living 1 hour away from each other. It's been a while that Bob and Susie haven't seen each other. And Bob came to me and asked me, Angelo, if I decide to drive tomorrow where she is, will I see her? So, first question, would you say yes or no? In the case you said no, or if you would have said no to Bob, unfortunately, you would have been wrong. So, how is it possible that with 2 black cards, first card, last card, 2 spades, the answer can be yes? Yes, color-wise, we have 2 black cards out of 3, and usually majority of black cards mean no, majority of red cards means yes. As I have mentioned before, this rule is really more effective the more cards you have. For instance, with a 5-card spread rather than 3. It doesn't mean that you can't think about colors when you have a 3-card spread. But just keep in mind that from times to times you will have a majority of black cards in a 3-card spread, yet the answer will still be yes, or vice versa. So please don't disregard the color analysis when you have a 3-card spread, okay? Most of the time it's accurate. Now when we look at the suit, we have a heart right in the middle. Unfortunately, it is in between 2 spades. So the energies, the story starts with spades and ends with spades. The first spade is okay because it's improved by the heart following it, but unfortunately the heart is not sustaining the good energies because it's followed by a spade either. So even suit-wise, it's bad. If we look at the suit interaction, we have an improvement with spade followed by heart, but then we have a situation getting sour again with the heart followed by spade. So as you can see, if we do the really common standard analysis, it's not that good. And I totally understand why some of you could say, no, you won't see Susie if you decide to drive tomorrow. Now, he did drive over there and he saw her. So the straight answer to the question remains yes. But does it mean that the whole experience was positive? No, it was not. Let me go back to the color situation. We said a majority of black cards means no, a majority of red cards means yes. Even if here we have a yes, whereas we should have a no, the majority of black cards still show a negative experience, and this is really something you have to keep in mind. Remember that if you have a majority of black cards, especially spades, even if the rule majority of black cards means no, majority of red cards mean yes, can be sometimes put aside, still keep in mind that apparently the spread is still showing a negative experience. Let's now look into the cards. The very first card, the 9 of spades, could represent a lot of things. It could represent the current mindset of Bob. It could represent the very first energy to manifest in the future. It's up to you. In any case, it doesn't change the reading. If you decide to look at the very first card as representing Bob's mindset, you can understand that it's not fulfilled. As easy as that. Not complicated. 9, fulfillment, spade, the opposite. And the reason why it's not fulfilled, well, you guessed it. It's because it's been a while, it hasn't interacted physically with Susie. It could be that. Now, if we look at the very first card as representing the very next energies to manifest in the future, we could understand the 9 of spades as representing some kinds of limitation or constraint, because the 9 of spades also carries those meanings, those energies. He explained to me that yes, he's feeling constrained and limited because it takes him an hour to get there. So it means it takes another hour to come back home, and later on he has a very important appointment. So he's constrained by time. Is limited by time, which feels like a burden. If you decide that the first card represents the next energies to manifest, that the trip is not going to be that pleasant. 9 of spades, okay? It's kind of a burden, a pain in the butt, if you prefer. And it's exactly the case. Bob has to drive. There are a lot of small roads. It takes forever to get there. So it's annoying. Finally, we could also maybe find a case where the 9 of spades could represent the fear of Bob, even if the 10 of spades is a better card to express fears, but that is not that sure that he will see her. So it's really up to you. It's up to your intuition. Now, how does the situation evolve? We have the 10 of hearts. Yes, but we have the 8 of spades. And that's where this spread is interesting and also tricky, because many people will be like, okay, there is a 10 of hearts, but we end with the 8 of spades, the 8 of spades, so it's a no. Well, that's not really how playing card works. Yes, you have a 10 of hearts, and 10 represent really the fulfillment, okay, the pinnacle of things, and unfortunately it's affected by the 8 of spades. So there is really the idea of not being happy, but the 10 of hearts is still there. You can't ignore it. So it means something. Okay, it's changed, it's modified ultimately by the 8 of spades, but it's not as if the spread was 9 of spades, 2 of spades, 8 of spades. Then yes, no, fine, no. You wouldn't see her. But here we still have at the very center of the spread, which is a very important location, the 10 of hearts. So it means something. Regardless the last card, it still gives you an information. This is why saying that he wouldn't see her would be inaccurate, because the 8 of spades affects the 10 of hearts. It doesn't destroy it fully. So the 10 of hearts is a card of fulfillment and joy, but then it's followed by the 8 of spades, which represent disappointment, something which is not going both ways. It's not something which is not reciprocated. Long story short, the 10 of hearts and 8 of spades here means that yes, he's gonna see her, but she's gonna be disappointed because something is not gonna go smoothly the way you wanted, which means going there, seeing her, and then going in a room and whatever, do what they want to do. No, it's not going to happen this way. And actually, what happened is that Bob went there. He drove quite a bit stressed and rushed. He rushed the drive because he knew he wouldn't have that much of a time to find her and to do what he wanted to do with her because of the appointment later on he had at his place. But when he went there, he looked for her a bit and then he found her. And so they talked to each other. Unfortunately, she was not available. And she told him, why don't you come tomorrow? And then Bob was disappointed, first of all, because he couldn't really have the moment he wanted to have with her that day, but also because he thought, oh boy, I have to go through all this hassle tomorrow again, the drive. So as you can see, and this is why this spread is so interesting, many people will just focus basically on the last card. And they will use the first card, the first spade, to confirm that it's a bad spread. Spade at the start, spade at the end. So no, and they would totally disregard the 10 of hearts. But when you have a positive card, a very positive card, especially a great card like the 10 of hearts, which is so powerful, when you have a positive card followed by a spade, the positive card is not fully destroyed. It's affected. So you can't totally do your reading ignoring the positive card. And this is the trap of this spread. And this is why some people would say, no, Bob, you won't see Susie. 2 blacks, 2 spades at the start, at the end. So it's a no. Well, it's a yes. It's more subtle than that. Yes, you will see her because there is a 10 of hearts, but something is not going to go the way you want. 8 of spades. As easy as that. Thanks, folks, for watching and listening. Hopefully it was educative and interesting for you. I wish you some great days, a great week, and I will try to post more often in the future. Take care.